What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nikki with another Scripture Speaks video. And in today's video, we're going to do a holy hot take on the heart and what a changed heart looks like when you want to change your life for Christ. Because a lot of times I hear people saying that God knows my heart. And I've said many times on this channel that that is a huge statement and you have to be careful with it because he does know your heart and that's what he looks at. So in the holy hot take, we're going to look at what a changed heart looks like and what that is all about. And then we're going to talk about Ayeaha Curry. And it's not what you think. I know some people it's made its rounds because it went viral. Uh, she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and I don't watch that podcast too much, but I watched that full video when I saw a video done, depicting Ayeaha as some woman who hated being married and all of those things. And I don't believe the people that's doing these YouTube videos now are going to even go and do their due diligence and watch the whole interview, because I think it's important to watch the interview because of context. And I don't think people care about context. I know that we live in a world where that's not what people are concerned about. So I want to play a snippet of a video, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about Ayeaha Curry, and then in the holy hot take, like I said, I'm gonna talk about what a changed heart looks like. So guys, let's get into it. Guys, you gotta look at, but in your heart, there's a root cause. But in your heart, look where you can. But in your heart, but like it or not, as disciples of Christ, it's just but in your heart, okay, but in your heart, yes, but in your heart, when I say to the wicked, you wicked person, you will surely die, and you do not speak out to dissuade them from their ways. That wicked person will die for their sins, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the wicked person to turn from their ways, and they do not do so, they will die for their sin, though you yourself will be saved. Now, let's get straight into the holy hot take. Guys, a changed heart doesn't mean perfection. And on this channel, this is a channel about a journey to discipleship. It is more than just a channel, and it's about telling the truth and helping us all to understand who God truly is and who we should want him to be in our lives. Now, it looks like priority. It's not about memorizing a verse or looking holy on social media. A changed heart is messy, it's real, and willing to love when it's hard, forgive when it hurts, and act when everyone else is silent. And did you hear it said that a heart that is changing is messy? It is so much that we allow to dwell in our spirit. Our minds go different places when you're just sitting alone. Just sit there in silence and focus, and watch how many times you wander off in your thoughts. I know I do it. I don't know how many people do it, but I know sometimes when I'm by myself and I'm trying to focus on one thing, my mind just starts to wonder about all the things that I have going on. So a changed heart, a person who is focusing on changing their heart, they deal with the messiness. They're honest with themselves. They're honest with God. They don't lie to God. They don't try to manipulate God because you can't. So you have to start thinking about that relationship with God. You can't lie to God. You can't fool God by trying to act like you're really about changing and doing his will, because he knows your motivation. He knows everything we need. He knows everything we're thinking before we even say it. He just wants us to confess it out loud. It's not as if we're telling him something unbeknownst to him. He knows. It's real. It's willing to love in the hard times. And I know that word love, some people throw it around like it's just something that we say and can do whenever we feel like it. But that word, it means a lot. Now, most people think a changed heart shows up when you start going back to church more often. And you come into the church doors and you say, I'm gonna do better with uh engaging more in the church activities and doing the work with the church, and we give those smiles and the hugs on Sunday, and we think that we can make an Instagram post, we can put on our bumper stickers, I love Jesus and all of those things. But Jesus flips everything on his head. When he came to earth, that's what he did. He flipped everything on his head. It shows up in how you treat the people nobody is looking at, nobody pays attention to, nobody is watching, and how you obey even when it costs you comfort, reputation, or pride. See, when your heart is changed, you don't care what the outsiders say. You don't care what people say about what you're doing, the choices that you make. When you go up against the majority, when your heart is changing and you want to live for Christ, it's almost like you against the world. You're not the only one that wants to live that way. You're not doing something that nobody else is doing. But when you really make the decision to change your heart, oh, that's different. It's different. You're different. A truly changed heart doesn't scream, look at me, I'm changing. Don't you see the change in me? I hear people do that all the time. I see people do that. Back in the day, I would have did this, or I don't do that no more. You don't have to let people know about your change, because God sees your transformation. And that's all that matters. And if he doesn't believe your transformation, it doesn't matter how many people say, "Oh, I see how much you changed. I see how much you've grown." That their accolades and reward and compliments don't mean anything, because when we get to the gate and Jesus said, "Depart from me," you're gonna be wondering why. So a changed heart, it whispers, "I'm going to love more like Christ, because he first loved me." And that kind of heart, it moves mountains. Sometimes the mountains in other people, sometimes the mountain that's on the inside. So that's the mountain we want to move. Check what's inside of you. When you look in the mirror in the morning and you're washing your face and you're brushing your teeth, look in the mirror and reflect, and look at that reflection and see if you like what's staring back at you. That's my holy hot take for today, guys. Let's get into this Ayeaha Curry situation. Now, what I want to do is play you a snippet of a video. We're going to go to my iPad and I'm going to play you a snippet of a video. And I was I'm dealing with, I'm talking about the church, and this has something to do but with it, and I had a whole thing that I wanted to discuss and I wanted to talk about. But what changed is I saw this video, and I was like listening to the video. And Ayeaha had a situation where she was on the Red Table Talk, when it was hot. And she went viral because she started talking about, the fact that she wants attention sometimes. So people haven't really let that go. They haven't let that part of it go. And what has happened is um what has happened is she is at, you can say that she did it. You can say she's at it again, I say, so to speak. But in this video that I want to play, I just want to play the video, but it's gonna be just a small clip because I know what he's trying to do, and I know
I didn't know that he was going to end up playing.
what actually happened in the interview, because I went and did my due diligence. So I'm gonna play this snippet of this video, and then I'm gonna come back with some commentary.
I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. I thought I was going to be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know.
And I played that because I just wanted to give you some context. Now, what he did was he pulled, like, they were almost through with the interview. The interview was like an hour long, and I watched it. And the context in which she was talking, if you could please go watch the whole video, the whole interview, because the way that she was talking about Steph, she was gushing over Steph. You could tell that this woman really loves Steph, and she's very shy. Now, she could be fooling me. No doubt about it. She could be fooling me. But I came on and did this video because there is power and depth in the tongue. He's making this video trying to tarnish this young lady's reputation. She married Steph when she was 22 years old. Now, one guy did a video which made me want to even talk about this. He did a video and he had an article he pulled up. I tried to find it before I came on, but I couldn't find it. And I don't know what he was reading in the article, but what he was trying to convey is that he said something to the effect of, when Steph stopped playing basketball for good, she's gonna leave him. And I was like, why do we do this? And I'm about truth. I'm just about truth. And I think it's bad. I'm not coming on for no gotcha, no aha moment. I'm coming on because I think it's very sad. It's very sad that to get clicks, to get likes, you have to take someone else's reputation and ruin it. The context of what she said in that clip you just saw, and I think I'll play it again. I'm gonna play it again so you can make sure that you can hear what she said. The context in, for when she said
I didn't
it.
know that he was going to end up playing basketball. He said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. I thought I was going to be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know.
Obviously, like, the devil is a liar, and there's always, like, the ladies will always be lurking, hoping for their.
So what they're doing is just keeping tabs on somebody because she made a comment. And I guess she knew, but I think she was kind of in the moment of just saying, I'm gonna be vulnerable. And I watched the whole interview, and what prompted her to say that was the young lady that does the Call Me Daddy podcast was asking her questions about what she originally wanted to do with her life, and how when she married Steph, that did change. We all have dreams and aspirations for how we see our life turning out. And when we get older and we start living and life starts to life, you're not doing anything that you dreamed of as a kid. Now, she said originally she wanted to be an actress. I think she did some commercials. She said she was in, she did a small little scene on Hannah Montana, show with Miley Cyrus. So when she made that statement, it came from her talking about Steph's original plans and her original plan. Because if you remember Steph at Davidson, no one saw Steph being who he has become. He was a scrawny little kid, and looking at him, you never thought that he would be a 4-time NBA champion, hadn't hit the most 3-pointers ever. You never saw that when you saw he was good at Davidson. But to translate that into who he is in the NBA, I'm pretty sure he probably said, I'm gonna do my years at college, my 4 years in college, then I'm gonna use this scholarship and my basketball talent to make it through college, and then I'm gonna coach basketball. Because I've heard someone say that is his plan when when he retires, he's gonna go coach. So his his aspiration was just to play ball, get through college, and when he played ball in college, it was never to become this huge superstar in the NBA. But when she was saying it, she was basically saying it in the context of, look, I didn't think that he was going to take off. Probably no one in his family thought that he was going to take off. Because I don't even believe unless you're a hardcore basketball fan, a lot of people probably don't even remember who his daddy was. His daddy was a great 3-point shooter in the NBA, but he was a great spot-up shooter. He didn't have the handles that Steph Curry has. He doesn't have championships. He was not on the level that Steph Curry is. So Steph Curry probably said, man, with my size, and people probably tell him with your size and uh and with your height, you're not going to be a huge star. Cause as you can see, he's not very athletic. He could probably dunk, but he's not gonna give you a highlight reel like a John Moran or Allen Iverson. He plays so smooth, and he's a great shooter. And a lot of what she was saying and talking about and the questions that she was asking, it was never, she said she wanted to be a all about her career until she met Steph. And the way that she talked about how they met, she said as a teenager, she had a crush on Steph. And she didn't know that he liked her like that. So her moving on with her life, when she said she decided to move to LA and he was still in North Carolina playing at Davidson, she never saw herself being a basketball wife and a mom because she had went to LA to pursue her dreams. If you go watch I did my due diligence. I went and watched the whole interview because I did not want to look at her in a certain way because she already had done an interview where she made comments that put her in a negative light in people's eyes. But when I watched the interview, I had to do this video because what it made me understand is the world that we live in. People always talk about keeping it real, but y'all love lies. I'm just being honest. You love lies. You love clickbait. And this is the personification of clickbait. She never made a comment in any type of way like she hates her life now. The comments that you heard in that clip was her basically talking about what she thought her life would have been, even when she got with Steph, because his original plan was he was going to play ball in college. But when he blew up and the NBA became a reality, he went to the NBA. But still, even when he got to the NBA, he probably like, I'm going to have a nice little career, and then I'm going to be a coach. But lives, and things change. And I just don't think that we like truth. So my message to everyone is be careful when you're watching these YouTube videos. Even mine, go watch that whole interview for yourself so you can get the context. Do your due diligence, because people will take everything, and all he did was play the clip. He didn't want to do the whole video. You know why? Because it would have gave everybody the truth that this woman loves her husband. She loves her husband. So I just feel like we do a disservice to ourselves to try to ruin somebody's reputation. And I want to end with the story. It says, a man once sat in the town square, whispering rumors about his neighbor. Each word flew from his mouth like feathers tossed into the wind, light, careless, and impossible to catch. By sundown, the story had spread, and the neighbor's name was trampled through the dirt. The man felt guilty and went to the town's wise elder. How do I make this right? He asked. The elder handed him a feathered pillow and said, cut it open and scatter the feathers. The man did as told, and feathers flew everywhere. Now, said the elder, go gather them all back. The man looked around defeated. That's impossible. They've gone too far. The elder nodded. So it is with slander. Once you tear a reputation, only God can heal what you've destroyed. That's why he warns us. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. To speak evil of someone is not just against them. It's against the God who made them. And that's what's most important. When we're doing these YouTube videos, we must be very careful with spreading lies. I know you love to get the juicy information out there, but don't do it at the expense of somebody else's relationship or somebody else's reputation, because we're all made in God's image. And you're spending time trying to ruin somebody's life, even though she knows the truth, Steph knows the truth, but the world doesn't know the truth. And people love clickbait, and then they love to give their opinions online and don't even know half of what they're talking about. And I did this video because when I went to watch the actual interview, I was like, okay, we got to speak up about this because it's not good. And in me doing YouTube now, I have seen a lot of times where people have decided that it's more important to get a click and a like than to give informative and truthful information. Now, whatever's going on with Steph Curry and his wife, that's between Steph Curry and his wife. It's not up to us to try to come out here and ruin somebody's reputation. Because we live in a society now where people love to counsel people. They love to say, we're not going to listen to this person or talk to this person or buy this person's product. And we're killing their livelihoods. This woman has a family. This woman has children. And her children are getting older and they're going to see these things on the internet. And why are we so cruel that we would rather tell a lie and spread a rumor than tell the truth? Because if you watch that whole video, none of that interview was in the context of she didn't like being married to Steph. She didn't want to be married to Steph. that came in the context of when she was asking her about when they first got married and how it was. And these guys, the manosphere and all these red pill, blue pill, internet junkies are deciding to make people try to make people's lives miserable. And I just think it's horrible. I think it's horrible. And I wanted to really just debunk what they were putting on the internet about that particular interview. If she's lying, it will come out. But it's not up to us to lie about that instance, that situation, make clips, and then decide to take that and say, well, this is what she meant. Because if you watch the whole video, you would know exactly what she meant and where she was coming from. So, guys, I just hope that we stop and think about what we're doing. We talk about the church and being hypocrites, and we talk about how the church are full of judgmental people. What do you call that when you make a video and it's clickbait and you're trying to make it look like this woman is online embarrassing her husband? And that's the furthest thing from what she did in that interview. I thought it was tasteful, because I don't even really care for that podcast. The Call Her Daddy podcast. I don't care for it. But I had to go see what was actually said. So, guys, that's my video for today. I hope that you gain something from this. And remember, if you don't remember anything else from this video, there's life and power. There's power and life and death in the power of the tongue. There is life and death in the power of the tongue. So be careful with what you put out there. You won't want anybody dragging your name, so don't do it to other people. Peace, guys, and I love you.
Scroll through the word, revelations unlocked. Wisdom so fresh, got my spirit restocked. Streaming hope like podcasts on demand. Faith-built visions, God's work in my hand. Scripture